It's preparing to live stream.
No, it is live streaming.
Okay, I'm going to record this as well.
Oh, should I record my end or not?
Just in case. Just in case. Let me just turn. Oh, hello. Oh, I'm so excited. Okay, there's us. I can see the chat. Oh no, show chat. There we go. All right, so now let me send this link out.
Well, how do I see the chat? This is top quality telly for people who are already here.
I don't think anyone is already here, so don't worry. Okay. Can you see the live thing on?
Maybe I'll refresh the page.
But we are a bit behind.
Videos. Home. Nope. What do I do?
Okay, let me send you the link then.
Oh, wait. Here it is.
You got it?
Oh, why is it starring me?
Yeah, because I put that.
Okay. Now, yeah. Okay. I've got to turn this audio. Wait a sec. Okay, I can hear myself. Wait. Turn volume off. Okay.
Oh no, it's not giving me. Where's the link? I'm trying to paste from the bar.
Share 3 watching now. Started streaming 99 seconds ago. Someone's watching us. Wait, where's the chat?
Oh, whoever's watching, hello. We're 9 minutes starting.
Yeah. So we can.
There we go. Copy.
So here's the chat. I've got the chat. Who are the participants? You. That's basically it. Oh, me and me.
And it could possibly be Mark as well. Hello, Mark.
No.
Okay, I'll put that on Twitter. Well, if anybody new is here joining us right now, hello and welcome to the Power of Kroll. We start in 8 minutes time.
Zoom podcast recording. I am going to put that over here. Make it very small.
If you ever feared that Nathan Bottomley was an extremely handsome man when listening to his podcast, well, now you can see it for real. Sorry to embarrass you like
that. Yeah, I think I sound taller on FTE.
Taller?
I'll sit like this. Yeah, that's better. Maybe I could make the chair go up. No, actually, that's absolutely a surefire way of ending up flat on my ass in front of a live studio audience.
Hello, whoever else joined in. Cy2150. So I figure that's Cy Hart. Hello, Cy. Or it could be Cy Hunt. In fact, there's quite a few Simons in the Doctor Who.
Yeah, it could be anyone. That's right.
I'm just going to post
2150. That's. Yeah, no idea.
6 people here. Anyone who's joining, I hope you like my Kroll. As a result of buying this, Amazon is now suggesting other Squid Hat related merchandise that I
might. That's pretty great. It's the best Sigh.
Oh, Mark Doddic's here. Hello, Mark.
Oh, wonderful. Hello.
We can't hear your voice because, man, that is one sexy Scottish accent.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Oh, well, I feared it might just be you and me, Nathan. So I'm just so happy anyone's here.
Right, I'm completely. That's better. I was out of focus for a second. I don't know why. Cameraman.
Got somebody else here called Vic Kelly. Hello, Vic.
He loves your Kroll.
Many men have, you know.
That's right. I hear that a lot. Joe's here too.
Have you ever had it? Hello, Joe. Wow. Oh, I love Jo so much. You know, she did a fabulous commentary on Sleep No More and managed to talk for over an hour positively about it.
Yeah. Well, it's the one that kills everyone that watches it, and then the Doctor doesn't realize it, and it escapes and kills everyone, which I think is an awesome ending.
I have some questions from Fraser, says Si.
Excellent.
Of course. You know there'll be a Snog Marry Avoid in here. Sorry, Tom.
Oh.
We have stolen this from you.
Oh, let me drop the. How do I share? Wait a sec. Copy. I'm going to drop this into the FTA chat, but they'll all be too busy with their mistresses to listen.
Really? Come on, we're live now.
Oh, wait, I shouldn't have said that in public.
Who is the biggest whore of FTE? Come on. We need to know.
It's absolutely not me. Actually, someone immediately springs to mind, and I'm not going to tell you who.
I've heard good things about Pete Griffiths, you know.
Well, he's a good-looking man.
Hello, Paul. I'm really pleased you're here. Wow.
Oh, wow.
People are coming.
So
we've got to do this now.
So yeah. We have to do it. So have you dropped the link into Twitter, X?
I have. Yeah, I put it on the thread. Hello, Anthony Carroll.
Are we allowed to swear? That's the thing that I need to know.
Well, I mean, I put things out on YouTube where I swear all the time, so I'm gonna shoot.
Okay.
Oh, it's Andy Parkinson. Oh, I love him so much.
Hello.
Hello, Andy. Daniel Ross is one of my listeners, and he is a gorgeous man. Dave Rennie's here.
Oh, wonderful.
Can I just say to anyone who might be listening, go and find A Kettle and a Piece of String, particularly the episodes on A Christmas Invasion and Terror of the Vervoids. They're amazing episodes. Great podcast.
Yeah. If Terror of the Vervoids ever went missing, if Pamela Nash got hold of the master tapes and flung them into a furnace somewhere, we could recreate it single-handedly from that episode of A Kettle and a Piece of String, because you recite all of the dialogue for the entire thing.
And Dave comes, honest to God, the research he does.
Yeah.
So
yeah, no, he completely kept us on track in Christmas Invasion. It was great.
Anyone who's expecting that level of detail and research on this commentary will be sorely disappointed.
Yeah, I doubt that I've watched this since we covered it on FTE. Actually, I didn't, but I have very strong memories of it. Actually, I'm going to check.
I think it's a great choice. 3 minutes and we're going to get going, guys, just to let you know. Okay.
Wait,
they've already sent us kissy faces. Oh, and Joe Short saying hello to the Ham fam and everybody else. What a gorgeous bunch of people we've got here. Oh man,
yeah, this is great.
Shame we can't sort of put them all in little tiles just so we can see their reaction, isn't it?
Well, we could have a big Zoom watch along thing at some point. That would be a thing that you could do.
Do you know what I was thinking about doing next time? Because I thought it'd just be a riot. Time and the Rani.
Oh,
imagine.
So
I watched recently loves the Key to Time series so much. Yeah, me too.
Yeah, we'll talk about that, I think, because it's sort of super interesting, isn't it? Because it's like the middle of the 3 Williams seasons, and I think it's magnificent. And I love this. Everyone says mean things about this episode, and most of them are fair, but that doesn't mean that I don't really love it.
I do hope, I don't think anybody genuinely listens to A Hamster with a Blunt Penknife alongside stories,
the thing, yeah.
But today I hope they do, because I feel like that would
that'd be fun. Yeah. So fire up BritBox. When are we starting? People are coming on. You'll have to do a proper intro and stuff, do you, for the podcast?
Intro. Yeah, because I'm going to take the audio from this and then get an episode out of it as well. I mean, I'm leeching for listens. We're going to shit in 1 minute time.
So Flight to Entirety covered this in an episode released on the 3rd of January 2016, episode 60 of the podcast. And we're up to 276 now.
Paul Dunn's just said, at least you aren't doing the Armageddon factor.
Oh, yes. Yes, thank you, Paul. I was saying how incredibly boring. The Armageddon Factory.
I says the Armageddon Factory is pretty great. No bad.
Yeah, no, it's really quite boring. But there's a lot of people going places. It's like the Visitation. You know how the Visitation is just people just, well, Doctor, you go here, and then Tegan and I'll go here, and then, do you know what I mean? It's just like people going places. It's like, have a plot, like do something, like stop just going places.
Nodic just said this will be the first listen stroke view
Wow.
was done of this. Alongside us talking about it.
Ruining it. Absolutely ruining it, Mark. We promised to ruin it for you.
Midday, we can get going.
Yeah. Well, it's 9 o'clock here. So
as a little peek behind of just how much preparation goes into it with blunt pen knife, it's merely a 3-second counting. So you may as well give me a 3-second counting.
Oh, can I do that?
Well, yes, please.
No, I'll give you a 5-second one, like in Untitled Star Trek Project, and I'll do it super professional. I'll just sign the last two. You watch. 5. Oh wait, camera. 5, 4, 3.
Welcome back to Hamster with a Blunt Pen Knife, the Doctor Who commentary stroke live stream YouTube podcast. Hello, I am here today with the delightful, magnificent, handsome, charismatic, I could go on, Nathan Bottomley. Hello.
Hello. How are you?
Nervous. It's the first time I've done this.
Yeah, I know. I haven't ever live streamed anything. What if I have a stroke or something? Like what if the dog goes mad and attacks me? Like, and it's on the thing. Like, you can't take it back. It's out there on the anyway. I probably won't have a stroke. It's fine.
We're also joined here by my very own personalized Kroll with fabulous tentacles. And oh, they can see you, can't they? Of course they can. And Nathan's got Kroll behind him there. Look, about to.
Yeah. But I also have just give me a sec.
No,
I'm gonna do a thing. I also have Alfie.
Oh, Alfie the dog.
Yeah.
Okay,
yeah.
Now
he is
just so anybody who's listening to this knows, we are live streaming this on YouTube. We're going to have input from people that are watching along with us. Somebody called To Watch Who has just joined us. Hello, downstairs. How are you doing? So I will chip in quite a bit with, if anyone has any questions or any comments they want to say, then please pop them in the chat and we will go through them as we are talking. Vic Kelly just screamed Alfie.
Yeah. So Alfie's a podcasting dog. He does appear on one episode of Flight Through Entirety where he just constantly interrupts Brendan the whole time barking, and then I cut them all out and put at the end of the thing. But he's very grown up now, and he's present for just about every episode of Untitled Star Trek Project, actually.
We'll call him the mascot for this one then, shall we?
Yeah. Yep.
Look, I'm going to ask you a question immediately then before we even go into episode 1. And that is, what is your opinion on season 16 and this sort of interlinked Key to Time season? Are you a fan?
Oh, yeah. I think it's absolutely magnificent. I think it is really, really great. And like, I love the Graham Williams era, but I would be lying if I said I thought season 15 was any good. And season 17 is very brown, isn't it? Like, there's a lot of space corridors in season 17, and season 17's funny and magnificent and marvelous in all sorts of ways, but visually it's a little bit kind of cheap looking, whereas this season is sort of wonderful. There's heaps of location footage, only one story set on Earth. It's imaginative and fun and silly, and it's like Tom and Mary. It's wonderful. It's just one of my favorite things ever.
I'm sorry to tell you this, but Mark has just said he's watching us on the 52-inch TV downstairs.
Oh, Jesus.
We're in high def.
Sort of moisturized. Yeah, that's right.
Patsy Carroll says he was 7 years old when it was on.
So I remember watching this. So this is 1970. So I'm probably the same age as him then, because it probably came out a year later in Australia. And And so I remember, I think season 15 was the first time that I was aware that I was watching a new season, because like in Australia, they would just repeat and repeat and repeat and repeat. Do you know what I mean? Like all the time. It was on 5 nights a week or 4 nights a week.
Bastard. We
Yeah,
didn't
yeah,
have
yeah.
none of
Well,
that here.
no, there was a time when we were sending off-air videotape, not us personally, but people were sending off-air videotapes to the UK because we were able to see Doctor Who that you couldn't. And so I was aware that season 15 was new, and that was sort of exciting. And I remember my friend who introduced me to Doctor Who, like we called one another up after the first episode of the Reboss operation to rave about how much we loved it. And then we speculated that maybe the Doctor would find a part of the key to time next episode. So I don't think we kind of twigged to the fact that it was going to be just 6 loosely linked stories with a key to time segment per story. But so this is the second season 16 that I've done for Hamster, and
with your
Reboss operation,
spectacular gales of laughter at the climb.
Well, I think that's superb, and it's Holmes. So this is Holmes' second story this year. He's got the shits a bit, but that helps. Do you know what I mean? That he starts doing naughty things because he's annoyed with everyone. So I just think this is terrific, and this one is underrated too.
Yeah, I think so too. Don't you think? I think it's such a great way to do a season, and that is have a diverse. It's basically playing Hunt the Key for a year, isn't it? And so the fun of that, if you're a kid watching it, it's like, well, what's the key going to be this week? And you go through the story, and it's not obvious in any of the stories, and they play about with it. In Andros Atara, she finds it in 2 minutes, doesn't she?
Yeah.
Reboss operation, it's sort of integral to the heist plot. In the pirate planet, it's the bloody planet.
Yeah, and they do a good job too of kind of making it work while not having it sort of interfere with the stories, like not having the stories generally be about that. They tend to be about something else, and it's only in the Armageddon factor where they decide, well, we'll do the big story. And it's a little bit like, say, series 3 of the new series, where we get hints of Mr. Saxon, and there's a bit of a big Mr. Saxon element to the Lazarus experiment and stuff like that. But then we finally get our Mr. Saxon story, the one that we'd been waiting for at the end of the season. And so I think it's a bit like that.
Don't mention the Lazarus experiment too loud, all right? Because Dave Rennie will throw his Thelma Barlow picture at us. It's still on Twitter at the moment. It's Thelma Barlow. Every time something crude said on Twitter, she's there going. I'll tell you what. I think we should probably skip into episode 1. I've got a question.
Okay.
Guys, if you do want to throw in questions at any point, please go ahead and we will get to all of them. Are you ready on the button?
Okay, just let me no. Give me a sec.
We're professionals, folks, all right?
Yeah. Well, I'm just used to being able to edit everything out, you see, but that's hard to do on a live stream.
But yeah, I feel like
okay.
with Untitled Star Trek Project, we have sort of come to perfect improvising now, haven't we?
I think we should be all right.
Or improvising unprofessionally, at least. Anyway.
Yeah.
I'll walk on then. You count us in.
Okay. 5. Oh, sorry. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and we're off.
Off we go. And so Cy asked on Fraser's behalf, is a weak Bob Holmes story better than a strong story from most other writers?
Well, yes, obviously. So Bob Holmes, until I think it's the Zygon inversion, Bob Holmes is the writer who is responsible for writing the most Doctor Who, like by minutes. Do you know what I mean? If you talk about minutes, and then Stephen Moffat overtakes him in the Zygon inversion in that big Capaldi speech, which is pretty good place to sort of note that fact. Oh, here we go. But yes, I think this is great. He has done it before, and he will remake it later, which helps. It's a story that he knows how to do.
Joe Short says to us, we're live and dangerous and unedited. That's very, very true.
Yeah.
Yesterday, hello, yesterday. I won't start singing the Beatles. Says anything can happen. And Andy
So,
Parker just screams, Philip Maddock.
well, I'm more K9's naked. Look, there he is.
Now, look, we need to get into John Lee stuff. Because I'll tell you what, it's quite a daddy, isn't it?
So, yeah, daddy, holy crap. Yes. So what do we have? We have Philip Maddock, who is absolutely wasted in this role, but he's still magnificent in it. And there's a reason for that, isn't there? Like, he thought that he was going to be playing. Is he called Thorn?
Yeah, he thought he was going to be playing Neil McCarthy's character. So he came along to read through. And then Neil McCarthy's there saying, I'm playing this fabulous villain, Thorn. Philip Maddock's like, oh, okay. I'm a better actor than
I'm
you.
just playing the other guy.
Although, do you know what? I will say he does try and do what he can with that thankless part.
Oh, yeah. I mean, he's magnificent. He's so good. He would have been a brilliant villain. I think Neil McCarthy. So has he just done The Mind Robber, or what else has he done in Doctor Who? Has he done anything
Mind
else?
of Evil, don't you?
Yes, The Mind of Evil. Yeah. So many stories, such nonsense.
I'm sure. You know, Andy Parkinson would like to ask you, which Neil McCarthy character do you prefer? Thorn or Barnum? Dr. Summers.
I actually really quite like Thorn. I think he's a shitty villain. Do you know what I mean? Like, there's nothing to him. He's just nasty and not glamorous or operatic in any way. I mean, if he'd been played by Philip Maddock, he would have had a chance to be sort of a bit more memorable. But he's just a sort of asshole with a sort of job, you know, and he's racist and just kind of horrible. And that's okay. I mean, yeah, and poor old Barnum, holy crap. Like, they take all the evil out of his brain. It's such a silly story, isn't it? I mean, I really like The Mind Robber, and I think the end of it's very atmospheric.
Isn't he, for four?
But God, it's nonsense, isn't it?
Ollie Neal's joined us and says, hi.
Oh.
Late. To Watch Who, I'm just going to call you Mark, all right? Okay. Mark says, Power of Kroll was Robert Holmes's least favorite script of his own scripts.
Yeah. Well, I think he's in a bad mood about it. And I think maybe, do we know why? Was it he was told to do the biggest monster ever and he thought that was a shitty idea? And so he made it a giant farting squid? Yes. No, someone else said that. Someone said that on Twitter. But I mean, that's it. He just does a big fart joke, and he's done fart jokes before, but this is literally the biggest fart joke the show has ever done, because the entire population of Delta Magna eat his farts.
Yeah.
Don't they? Like, we package up his farts and put them in a rocket and then send them to Delta Magna for everyone to eat.
We've had in Doctor Who until Revelation of the Daleks.
Yeah. I still think it's probably worse than Revelation of the Daleks. At least that's meat.
Mark Doddix would soon be in Clash of the Titans, and that Dave Rennie says that Neil McCarthy had been in Steptoe and Son Rides Again as well. But he's doing all the classics then, isn't he?
Well, he's very striking looking, isn't he? He's got that sort of massive head, like he's and
I always feel like he's got the sort of psychotic eyes where it's like he's going to hit someone any minute, no matter what he's saying. Can I just say about this location work? It is stunning, this location work. I think the Icon Marshes was such a savvy choice.
Where are we here? Are we in Ealing? Like, so there's some film stuff for the interior of the...
I mean, people that say you can't have any money in a Graham Williams story, well, you got although, do you know what? On the DVD, there's a documentary. It's almost like a 10-minute confidential of the day where they're shooting in the Icon Marshes when they're shooting.
I think I've seen that.
And that hovercraft went past very slowly. And basically, the director just goes, Norman Stewart, oh, we've got to do it again. That's far too slow. So that hovercraft back and forth until he's happy. And there's a wonderful sequence where one of the fellas playing the Swampies, he's got a proper sort of RSC accent, you know. He's like, hello. He's like that. But he's smoking a cigarette and he goes, we couldn't get the paint off yesterday, but we went to the chemical showers in a local area. He goes, there was a black man there. He goes, and he just looked at me and he went, now you know how I feel, mate. Do you know?
Oh, Jesus Christ.
Oh my God.
So someone doesn't know how you make a reed pipe because it's not like that. So
Oh, is
yes,
that
it is cute. I do think it's cute. And like, where's she gone? Where's she gone?
Romana has gone off to find the key on the higher ground.
Oh, okay. So this is the Doctor again, just kind of doing his not giving a shit. The, I mean, the great thing about Romana, and it's the first time it ever happens, isn't it? That you have a companion that makes the Doctor, that is the competent, self-assured one, and so the Doctor spends his time rebelling against her. So yeah, so with Hinchcliffe, he's a very commanding figure. The Doctor is absolutely in charge, but under Williams, the Doctor is a naughty schoolboy who's rebelling against, Mary Tam. I think it's really great.
Whereas, like, I don't think this is going to work. And she's like, before I met you, I was even willing to be impressed.
Yeah, I was willing to be impressed.
She's great. And boy, she is glamorous, isn't she?
Oh, yeah.
We've got a movie starlet in Doctor Who now as the companion.
Yeah, she's magnificent, isn't she? We on Flight Through Entirety, there was a running gag. It was probably me who just said that she was taking a sabbatical from acting for a year, and I think that that's partly because she is so much better than we had any right to expect. Do you know what I mean? Like, now I think we have higher expectations for who's going to be in Doctor Who, but it was basically people you never heard of, or that woman who did a guest spot in an episode of Some Mothers Do Have 'Em or something. Do you know what I mean? Like,
I'm going to throw in a few comments.
Yeah, sorry.
Here it
Yeah.
screen. No, honestly, it's marvelous. Paul Dunn says John Leeson phones it in my opinion, and I do agree, and we'll get there. Trust me. Daniel Rawnsley just screams out "protein farts!" Explanation.
Yeah. And Colin Neal just said that I was the one responsible for the sabbatical gag. But see, the other thing that I think is great is that she has that thing that I love about Emma Peel, which is, look at this Swampy tying her up, and she doesn't really give a shit. Like, do you know what I mean? Like, yeah, like, whatever, tie me up, and it's that absolute sort of failure to be scared.
Got, like, a bad smell under her nose, and she's a bit better.
Yeah.
Especially look at her, how she deals with Rom Dart.
It's wonderful.
You smelly. Why are you talking to me?
So this is so Holmes as well, isn't it? Because the thing that Holmes does, and everyone says this, it's a sort of truism, is that he just creates a world, like there's little incidental details everywhere. And so we get the drill fly that Rome Dutt is kind of casually threatening her with in a way that she doesn't really care about. But it's a little Holmes detail. And given that Holmes basically wrote, Ark in Space, which also has insects that lay their eggs in you and then, well, they don't quite come out the top of your head, but like, it's a little Holmes moment, and that's what's so great about this. It's the dialogue and the world building is always so much fun,
and he's always so good at that. I mean, we talked about that in Rebus, didn't we? He manages to get a lot of detail in the dark. You don't even have to show half of it. Rebus, we see sets, don't we? 3 locations, and yet we get an idea of the scale of the planet and the customs and all of this is we've actually visited. Mark's just let us know that Neil McCarthy was in George and Mildred the movie. This is the pinnacle of his career.
Oh my God.
Sai asked, which moment in this story does Mary Tam decide she won't be back next year?
I always assumed that she was deciding that in Armageddon Factor.
I always thought it was Stones of Blood. When she's on the cliffhanger going, help!
That's such a great story, isn't it? It's so good, but that's so shittily directed. And it's Tom's fault too, partly, isn't it? It's Tom, he didn't want to be evil. He wanted to be cuddly, and so he just refused to do that scene. I just think he sort of fucked it up. Oh, here he is hamming it up.
Nathan, will you
hurling himself into the room?
Will you read out Lit Roundell's comment there? It's the second to last one. I don't know what it means.
Yeah. Oh, no. Neil McCarthy did have like some kind of so it's called acromegaly. So that's why he's got so big, just big features and big head, yeah.
And wonderfully, Paul Dunn would like to let us know that he once helped Mary Tam pay for her car parking after a convention.
I did get to meet Mary Tam at a convention.
How was she?
Yeah. Oh, well, just sort of stunningly beautiful. Peter Griffiths used to write us plays, and I tended to play. I think I played Ian in one, and I think I was Morbius in another. And Mary Tam came on with like a hair curler, like an electric hair curler, looking for the key to time. She was great. Bless her.
Tom Baker does all this brilliantly, doesn't he? He walks in utterly unimpressed with this fabulous technology that they're all showing off to him and saying, it's the most sophisticated technology in
yes.
I've seen different worlds, I think
but then
punches
again
so well.
Yeah. But also the dialogue, it's credible. You know how Douglas Adams does sort of whimsical technobabble. He does the gravitic anomalizer and the all of that sort of thing, the real world interface. No, that's probably Bidmead. But he does that sort of fun stuff, and Holmes, is a smart man and knows some stuff about biology. What's his background? He's a policeman, but he knows something about.
I was reading through the About Time on this. That's by Lawrence Mark. So they do a lot of sort of background research.
Yeah.
They basically say most of the stuff in this script is genuine science.
It's super credible, like the sort of things that he's talking about, like it's believable. And like that's one thing that technobabble can do, or it can be funny, like Douglas Adams's approach. But again, it's that lived-inness of the whole thing. All right, what do we think of the Swampies?
And the other thing I learned from that little documentary was that all the Swampies are wearing these fabulous little loincloths underneath, like these little possum pouches.
Yeah, see, I'm looking very closely at some side bottom that we're getting here.
There's loads of that in this. I mean,
lot.
And the thighs on display as well. I don't care that they.
Yeah. No. But like obviously it's a sort of slightly weird racism thing, but it's again the the FTA episode on this story is called Another Holmes Colonialism Thing, and Holmes is, I think, from all accounts, fairly right wing. Do you know what I mean? Like, I think he's sort of fairly conservative politically, but he thinks colonialism is ridiculous, and most of his commentary about it is aesthetic rather than anything else. And so Major Daly, do you know what I mean? Or in what's the Blake 7 episode in series D? It's Traitor. Do you know what I mean? Like where they're all got sort of terribly posh English accents and they're talking about the Wazis and like it's all very hilarious. Wait, talking over, what are people doing?
In fact, my friend Paul did Resurrection of the Daleks with me recently, was talking about how so much of 21 is military focused. So many of those stories. And it's only when Holmes is writing for it is that you're poking fun at the military. And it's when Sir Ward is kind of writing a script, that's when there's a sort of affection for it. And he's sort of stroking the military a bit, which is a very odd stance for Doctor Who writer to take.
Yeah. So, like Holmes does also, I think Holmes is sort of aware that Seward wants military stuff, and he goes, all right, let me show you how it's done. Do you know what I mean? And he does a magnificent job of it. And, the great character, the MVP in that story from a Holmes sort of point of view is Shellac, who's a really good performance. And you could watch it several times without realizing that he's just a fucking idiot. Like he's really stupid. And that's tremendously funny. Like that's brilliant.
He didn't need to die either, did he? If he only didn't have such a terrible reaction to Jack's disabled, he would have thrown him out the door to his death.
Yeah.
I love it when David goes to him. No, we're talking about another story now. When he goes to him, well, I suppose you started in the ranks.
So I reckon also that there are words that I like, English words that I encountered for the first time in Bob Holmes scripts. And so here we have the bagule, which they talk about quite a lot.
Moving on the bagel. I have to say, there are quite a few opinions about the thighs on display here. So I'm just going to let you know some of them. Aquatic 64 just says the thighs in a very excited way. I've come to understand knows a good thing about a good thigh. Says there are some strikingly good thighs on show and some not so.
Oh, here we go.
Oh,
Kroll.
boom,
And they
boom.
like why is everyone a man in this fucking story?
That's
Why
well,
are the
that's what makes
swampies
her
all
even
men?
more fabulous that she's not in. Dave Brady says that the
What?
dance is iconic, and you know what? I mean, you never forget this after you see it.
Yeah. I mean, you've got a proper actor in John Abernethy who's done sort of serious things in the show. I mean, he's, in Ambassadors of Death being the kind of horrible, evil, morally ambiguous general guy. What else has he done? He's done a bunch of things, hasn't he? He's limpy guy in that episode where Blake snogs his cousin.
Oh yeah. Oh Jesus. Yeah.
But he's very good, and like, good on him for agreeing to strip down and get painted green and go to work. And here he's doing this thing.
I was listening to Toby Hado's commentary on this, and he's like,
Yeah.
Abernethy is so in on the joke. He absolutely gets what Rankin is all about,
Yeah.
He's both a political maneuver because he knows how to manipulate the religion, get what he wants. But he also believes as well, because he winds up, with a tentacle around his neck, being pulled into a pipe at the end.
Oh dear.
I said a friend of mine at school went to the USA on holiday and later told me about this story he'd seen with green men in a swamp chanting. I had no idea until years later what story that was. See, it does stick in the memory.
I like this question from Aquatic 64. Do we think Hinchcliffe would have thought twice about making a story about a massive monster after having done the Scarrison? See, I don't think the Scarrison fails. I think it's wonderful seeing Doctor Who doing stop motion. And I had a little dog, because aren't they always like terrier skulls, like the Drashigs and so Gracie, my little terrier, who was like black and scrappy and tiny, and she used to roll her eyes like a kind of mad dog. She was sort of a bit crazy, and she just looked like the Scarrison, like exactly like the Scarrison.
Well, they're redoing the Scarrison for the Blu-ray, aren't they? And they're doing it in stop.
Oh, are they?
Oh, sorry. I was told that. Fuck, we're live.
Yeah.
Well, folks, the secret's out. Daniel Rawlsey says this is a bit King Kong, isn't it? With Romana being sacrificed to Kroll. There's even a bit of overlap in the name letters. Definitely.
Yeah. I mean, so like, people complain about the Swampies, and I think that's a reasonable call, because it's the usual tired thing that we do about primitive tribes of stupid people. Do you know what I mean? But the racism that is being that by everyone here, both McCarthy's character, both Thorne, and what's Philip Maddox's character called? I can't even remember.
Can someone help us out, please?
Yeah, help us out. Yes. So like, I think probably it's tired, and it's the usual thing that Holmes does, which is just repeat these, unthinkingly. But I don't know.
Mark has a comment about Kroll versus Arato, the movie. Oh, I'd watch that. Yeah, that would be amazing.
So we have had bigger things, haven't we? We've had the biggest monster ever since this.
Have we? Well, I suppose we had that enormous planet in the Rings of Akaten. That was quite big.
Yeah, bigger than that.
Oh, do we have a universe?
No. Well, we did, but that was only frog-sized. The sun in 42.
Oh, of course. Yes.
Yeah.
Not nowhere near as memorable as Kroll, unfortunately.
No, absolutely not. No. Look, we've got night shooting and everything. And this is not the only night shoot this year, is it?
Andrew Zatara.
Yeah.
Wonderful story about the fellas who was told, look, they're sleeping in the castle right now. Okay, there's only 3 of you. 1, we need to make you need to appear like there's an entire army, and 2, I need you to do the raid on the castle very quietly because there's like, how do you expect me to act this? Daniel Rawnsley says the beast in the Satan pit. He was.
Yes, he was very big, and that's a great monster too. That's an actual monster rather than just a sun or whatever.
Tom's pretty good on a boat, a lot better here than he was in Sharda.
Yeah, I can't get over this night shoot. Anyway, it's only here, isn't it?
Well, it bleeds into episode 2, but
yeah.
We're coming up to that cliffhanger where Mary Tam is at her most pathetic, just going, that wonderful joke about the man in the suit.
Oh yeah.
He knows exactly what he's doing, Holmes, doesn't he?
Oh yeah. Well, I mean, Doctor Who has frequently done this, hasn't it? Like the very first, like The Rescue, where it turns out that Kerquillian is just Bennett in a Kerquillian costume. Oh, spoiler alert for 1966 or whatever. But
can't really call it who done it, can you? Just a what?
No. But that's great. Oh no, she's doing all right. She's clearly not into it. That's a great shot to go out on, though, isn't it? Is that what we go out on? It is. We go out on Ranquin. We don't go out on Mary.
Abaneri's like, I've got the last shot. Yes.
Yeah. Looking great too.
Joe Short says we should have been water skiing over that swamp. Oh, that would be amazing.
Yeah, I think, so Mark is saying that Williams gets a lot of flack for the production values in his era. Look, I think he deserves a lot of flack, but it's not entirely his fault. There's economic reasons, aren't there? And I think Philip Hinchcliffe gives them a big 2-finger salute on the way out the door by spending part of next year's budget on Wing Chiang.
Like you said, I think the money is there on the screen in a lot of 60.
Yeah.
Peter, 1 year he gets it wrong. Well, actually, 17, I know there's production deficiencies, but he's very smart and goes, I'm going to save a lot of money for the last story.
Which then gets cancelled. but 15, like Peter from Flight Through Entirety, his theory is that that season 15 is the first time a story goes out that just shouldn't have aired, that wasn't fit for broadcast, and he thinks that's the Invisible Enemy. And I think there are real horrible failures. Like, I think, I don't think it's a Bob Baker and Dave Martin story with all that implies. It's fun. I really like it a lot, but there's shots and things where you think, far out, that's so dreadfully cheap.
I just wanted to say to anybody who is watching, we are taking a quick pause between episodes. So if you have got into episode 2, skip back to the beginning because we will count it into episode 2 in a second. Daniel Rawnsley says, night shoots in old TV look so much better than a lot of the digitally tweaked day for night stuff we seem to get today. I agree with that, actually.
Yeah. I think that always looks terrible. And they start doing it in Doctor Who as well. Like in Curse of Fenric, it looks terrible.
Sometimes even when they do night shoots, I think Village of the Angels is a great episode, but there's some sequences there where it's a bit too blue, It feels like a fake night.
I think that series is very heavily graded. I think, in fact, that's one issue with the Chibnall era, is that it's really aggressively graded.
Well, look, before we go to episode 2, perhaps you can answer the question from Dave Rennie here. What is the man in the suit doing? Is he going to tickle her with his Ice Warrior-like claws?
Yeah, what is he doing? I think he's just there to do the cliffhanger. John, we need a cliffhanger, love. It's 24.5 minutes in. Can you just go and threaten the leading lady for a sec? So she's the only woman in this.
It's so bad, isn't it? And I'll tell you what, actually, that is what I think. We'll go into 2, but we will talk about that because there is news that I've heard that
Mark Mark said that Stones of Blood had Bad Day for Night, and that's
It did.
absolutely correct. Yeah. Yeah. Really
But
bad.
it does have Amelia Rumford in those scenes, so they get away with it.
Yeah. It
Well,
has some night stuff in it, though, doesn't it? As
let's
well.
get into episode 2 and see what delights are there. I will count us in then in
Okay.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Off we go. Andy Parkinson, Image of the Fendal has great night shooting. Yeah, it really.
Yeah. Yep.
That's fuck, isn't it? Oh, Mikey and Janie's just turned up saying hello. I know, man. Oh, he's so handsome. Have you seen him?
No.
He does pantos and things. He's on poster. Oh,
Oh.
he's an actor.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Oh,
Sorry,
excuse
but
me.
that's going out live. I'm afraid. Sorry. Apparently, Holmes didn't like killing off women, which is why he didn't put too many women in his scripts, which holds water for a bit. And then you think, well, no, he scripted it in Horror Fang Rock, and there's a woman murdered in that, and you can suddenly start seeing stories where they do bump off women. So I don't know if I buy it.
Yeah. I don't know. I remember, like, there's a scene in Discovery episode 1 where I see, where Michael kills someone. Like there's a very visceral fight in a turbo lift, and in one level, I think actually that's pretty great. I'm glad that women can be in scenes like that, but I can understand someone being a bit squeamish about it. But like those sorts of things, like I'm just not going to put women in my show. They're always going to be expressed in terms of concern for women. Do you know what I mean? It's not, he's never going to say, well, I just think women are boring or something. Do you know what I mean? Like it's going to be, oh, well, the fifth moon of Delta Magna is a very dangerous place, and I don't think there should be women there.
Occasionally, they even put in 2 women, so you can have contrasting women in it. I do love that bit where Leela slaps Adelaide round the mouth in.
Yeah.
But of
Yeah.
course,
Well, that thing.
Williams is in at that point, isn't he? Hinchcliffe's out.
Yeah.
Williams in. Suddenly, we're getting the women.
Yeah. But this is a bit of a throwback. Yeah. What is he going to do to her?
The line that he has about maybe it was more convincing from the front.
Oh, it's so good. It's so good.
In fact, all of these things now where they're investigating this area, what is it? It's a holy writ. It's atrociously writ. All of those.
Look at it. Now we get to see it full on. And it is just a bit too bad to be a Doctor Who monster in this era, but only slightly too bad.
I don't know if that had been or something like that. We might have been better off.
Well, all I can think about is the visible zips down the backs of the mandrels.
We've got a question from Fraser again.
Okay.
Gorgeous Simon Hart.
Ooh.
Is this the greatest supporting cast ever assembled for a Doctor Who story?
Oh,
I think it's a good cast.
It is pretty good. Do
you know what I still think?
Yeah.
The supporting cast for any Doctor Who story? The Impossible Planet.
Yeah, it doesn't have big names, but gosh, that's when they get this right properly for the first time in Doctor Who history, and they've all, like, Moffat never manages to do it in the Bases Under Siege that he does. We just recorded our Under the Lake, and
I recorded that this
Flood
week as well.
You did as well.
Very
and and like they're very average. That the Gangers 2-parter, I watched the first episode and couldn't work out how many people there were on the base. Like here everyone's a man, and that doesn't help in this one. I mean, this is sort of a Base Under Siege, I guess.
You don't really remember any of the Swampies apart from Ranquin. You don't.
No.
You remember John Leeson only because the acting is so terrible. There's nothing about.
I think he's being naturalistic, isn't he? Like he's just kind of he's doing his best to.
He's biting his thumb there. Oh, what's going on the Bajil? Lit Roundels says excellent lighting from Warwick Fielding for studio as
yes,
just as he did for the studio Stone Circle and Stones of Blood. Yeah, that's when the night works, isn't it? In the studio.
Yeah. But I mean that he's right, because like we're on film here, so this is part of the night shoot, but the actual cliffhanger resolutions shot in the studio, but there's a consistency, like it looks as consistent as it possibly can given how different those two media are.
Do you
What
think
about Varlic, Joe? Like, you didn't mention Varlic.
there's a space name if ever I heard one? E and a K in it. Given that this is about gun running, we've got Rom Dart playing both sides. He does come back to this in Case of Angelani, doesn't he? And I think
Oh, yeah.
better there.
Yeah. Well, so he's done it first in the Space Pirates, hasn't he? Where you've got the two planets, you've got a valuable substance. I can barely remember the details of that because I think I've seen it once for Flight Through Entirety back in 2014 or something. It's a bit tiresome, isn't it? But so he does a run at it, doesn't he? Like, there's two planets, one of which is supplying the other, and there's some engineered problem that's being created by the people who look like they're suffering from it. And that's what's happening here. So Rome Dart is actually being paid by Thrawn. I keep wanting to say Thrawn, even though I don't give a shit about any of that Star Wars stuff. Yeah, and that's the same thing that's happening in Caves of Androzani, isn't it? Like Morgus is paying Shellac.
And what's interesting, I think Stotts is a more interesting character, but I think Rom Dart's a more memorable performance.
Yeah, I think Stotts is a pretty incredible performance as well. Yeah. Wow, it's really great, isn't it? And he gives him a guy.
You see that? Mark's just said he loves the Space Pirates. Well, somebody has to.
Well, it's still a home script. Do you know what I mean? Like, it's still a home script. It's still funny, and Madeline Isagri has a fantastic Argonite wig. Like, it's
that bit at the end of episode 2 where she turns straight to the camera and smiles at the camera. I'm the villain of this story. All right. One of the first best female villains we ever had. Mikey Janey says this show is both very grey and very green, and I love it. And Lit Randall says I enjoyed the Space Pirates when I finally watched the recon last year. Maybe there's more Space Pirates fans out there than I thought.
Yeah, I should probably take a look at it. You only did that one comedy episode of the Space Pirates on Hamster. You haven't actually done it properly.
Imagine doing a recon like that, though. A commentary for 6. That's 3 hours.
Yeah. Well, you'd have to do it in bits, I think.
So is this where the Doctor's figuring out that, obviously, because they've never seen Kroll before, has it? Kroll's never genuinely as a giant squid. So it's an entire sort of made-up religion. And is this where he's sort of exposing all of that?
Yeah, so doesn't he read? No, he reads the... Oh, anyway, it's hilarious. So they're spear-wielding sort of, green guys. Oh, look at this. I hate underground passages.
I'm quite fond of him myself,
That's so great. No, he just said, so do I. But obviously we're going into the underground passage because this is Doctor Who. And of course we are. I actually think that's funnier than Nicola's all these corridors look the same to me line.
Much repeated line.
Yeah.
Things are a bit of a problem, though, aren't they? We keep cutting away from the more interesting stuff to head back to this bloody refinery, and this bunch just watching a screen.
Yeah, so the set is really boring. Like, the set's really boring, and it's the usual thing because, like, it's just sort of shiny metal walls. And if you were doing it now, you would like think about the setting in Under the Lake or whatever it's called, where that base looks incredible, doesn't it? It looks damp and it looks solid and stuff, and you get a sense of the space.
Well, that's very telling then, if that story looks amazing, but this one's more memorable.
Oh yeah. I mean, I think it's a bit of a nothing story, unlike a lot of the other ones in series 9, but this is such a boring set, like a boring set.
It's so boring, in fact, that there was a memo that went from, I can't remember, it's someone from the BBC to Graham Williams, or maybe it was from Graham Williams, but basically saying this is unacceptable. The bit in episode 4 where Tom Baker goes up the ladder and hits the wall with the toffee hammer to stop the rocket going off, and the wall flat just wobbles very. And with the countdown thing in the wall, the very cheap countdown thing in the the letter basically saying this is unacceptable, to be broadcasted. And I don't think they ever use this designer again.
Right. Okay.
That's fair. I think.
Yeah. I think because what you need to do is you need to sell it as a you need to is it a refinery or something? I mean, the model, which is also pretty shit, looks like an oil refinery. So make it.
It was Graham McDonald, head of series and serials, that wrote that.
Said this is terrible.
Here, isn't it? They got the facts at their fingertips.
Yeah. That's it.
Very much.
That's why it's okay that I don't know anything.
Daniel Rosey says, I love how they're just describing what they see on the screen, because otherwise there's not much to look at.
Yeah, that's right.
Oh, here we go. Oh, do you know what? We should do this with an audience every time. Listen to this. Correct, Joe, says Lit Roundels. Graham McDonald, head of series and serials, said Don Giles's work was so low standard, he was forbidden to work on Doctor Who again.
Wow. Okay. Oh, yeah. See, look at McCarthy there.
I really hate those tubes as well. They're clearly gas tubes, aren't they? Without flames coming out. You see it?
Oh, yeah. So they're doing sort of bookbinding in the swamp.
Well, somehow, yes. We just didn't meet that character.
Yeah.
Fabulous handwriting. I've never seen drawings that good since.
That is pretty great, actually. That is awesome.
Persuasion and Enlightenment in For the Doomsday.
It's really good.
At least they didn't have space pictures of nude women on the walls like so many workplaces in the 1970s did. Yeah, that is pretty bad, actually. I've heard 70s shows.
I love this. Doesn't the Doctor make something about Kroll popping up every few hundred years to eat the high priest or something? Like it's
it pops up every couple of centuries.
That's it. Oh, the two of them are having so much fun.
I like it. Lapel. How fabulous are those little brooches on his lapel? Do you see them?
Yeah. The ducks.
There's a little bit of footage of them recording it. They put it on the DVDs, and you've got Tom Baker and Mary Tam coming onto that refinery set, and he's going, maybe I could just sort of flap my lapels to get some attention from our ducks. And you hear Neil McCarthy and Philip Maddock go, no, Tom, don't do that. I love those little insights. Daniel Rawls has just said, Romana says, oh, I like a book with a happy ending, and they've only read the first few pages. Oh, this bit's wonderful, where they go to use the weapons and they all blow up in their faces.
Oh, so this guy behind him is called Scart, by the way.
I believe I've got one of those in the back of my monitor.
Yes, I think you might.
So the idea here is Ron Dutt is working for Thorne to supply weapons to Ranquin that don't work, but then it looks like they've amassed an army, so then Thorne can then wipe them out.
Yeah.
And have no complaints from friends of Earth.
So and the difference is, isn't it, that with oh, look at this. Oh, look, wait, it's our first tentacle. And there's Rome Dutt outing himself.
Sarah from Two Watch convinced, that Kroll popping that up there was someone with a mask on his head, just going like this.
It looks like it. That model is pretty fucking great, don't you think? I think the model looks magnificent.
They shot it on film as well. So
yeah. Oh, they often did that.
Sometimes they didn't, though, did they?
No. But yeah. So the only real problem is the rule of straight line, isn't it? Between the thing is the only thing that fails in that shot.
What bugs me is they don't learn, because you've got a fantastic oil rig model in Terror of the Zygons, right? And they shoot
Yeah.
it well, and they shoot it close with the sea coming up, and he cuts away very quickly. So you haven't got enough time to see that it's a model.
Yeah.
Here, he does a long shot of this thing,
Yes.
tiny looking thing in what looks like a puddle of water. And so it looks, and he keeps the camera going. So you
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
exactly what it is.
Well, you know, um, Cy will agree with me, but when the Leisure Hive comes along, the model of the Leisure Hive isn't a great deal better than the model of the Power Complex in the previous year's final story, but it's directed by someone who knows how to make a model look good. And that doesn't necessarily mean make it look real, make it look realistic. It makes it look good. And they could always have done that, but that they didn't. And so that this director, who doesn't realize that waves look a certain size, you know, and so like that just looks shit. Like that's dreadful.
I'll tell you what it is. It's the Richard Martin effect. And I know Darren Litt-Randalls is getting a hard on right now because
Yeah.
he rants fabulously about how terrible Richard Martin is as a director. But actually, I think Norman Stewart works when he's on location. And he gets great shots. And when he's in
Yeah.
he just doesn't know what to do with it.
No.
Yeah, it is tricky. We've got a question and an answer here. So, Cy from Fraser,
Okay.
we're used to monsters that look like genitalia in Doctor Who, the Vervoids, the creature. Is this the best monster that looks like an anus? Wow, Fraser, I don't know what anuses you've been seeing lately.
Yeah, Fraser, see a doctor, man. Like that's no good. That's no good at all.
Andy Parkinson answers the Nestine from Spearhead, definitely.
Yeah, yeah.
The bit that's kind of sucking up against the glass.
The cling film. Yeah, yeah. That maybe. Yeah. Not this, I don't think. It's got claws on the either side of it. It'd be very uncomfortable.
Darren says they need to be looking up at the refinery model and not down at it. It's
yeah. They need to be shooting it close and they need to be looking up at it. Exactly right.
That's such a simple thing to get right, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Just pop your head into the special effects bit and say, just put the camera down there, shoot up.
yeah. Or
I know this
the
stuff
model on a higher table
very quickly. So maybe, I don't know. Oh, Daniel Royalty says size is everything, really.
Yeah. Yeah.
I'm not going to comment, all right? I'm a very happy man. Oh, this is the bit where we realize how big Kroll is because he's going, those scanners are 400 meters apart.
It's so undramatic, isn't it? What's on the screen? Like it's so boring looking.
Colin Neal just says, I've just realized I've started episode.
You have to watch it all the way through to the end now, Colin, and you can start episode 2 when we start episode 4.
Sort of rude shaped monster in Doctor Who. Just to finish that up. Is it the creature?
So we the longest ever flight through entirety episode title is The Long Tradition of Doctor Who Monsters That in Some Way Resemble Human Genitalia, and that's the title of our episode, one of the Dalek 2-parter, because of Dalek, is it Dalek Sec with the dicks coming off his face?
Yeah. I've not seen that many penises on my screen. This was revealed.
But I have to say again, because Before the Flood is a fairly recent memory, the Fisher King is unfortunate as well, I think.
Yeah. And you know what? Just for them being stamped all over the cover of Doctor Who magazine, and a complaint being issued from W.H. Smith's The Vervoids as well.
Yeah. Well, yes, I think like we have to think very carefully before putting vertical mouths on a monster, I think.
Now, what are Fawn and Fenner? Fawn and Fenner, that's a tough thing to get your mouth around, isn't it?
Fenner, so he's Fenner. Okay.
Fenner.
Well, Fenner's a swamp. Maybe Fenner is someone who worked in a swamp. I don't know.
Right. I feel like the episode 2 and 4, that's where the pace is affected a lot. One setting it up and there's a lot going on and a sacrifice.
Yeah.
4, there's a ton of pace towards the end as the zombies are attacking, Kroll's on the move, and there's loads going on. Sort of 2 and 3, we're not doing a lot.
Yeah,
really.
marking time. I mean, this is sort of interesting in the sense that they're reacting to the appearance of this thing that they've never seen before. So all of this episode is kind of the fallout from Kroll's most recent manifestation. But it does take the form of lots of, 4 middle-aged white men sitting around talking to one another about things.
Terrible hair, isn't he?
Oh, all of them do.
Colin Baker. Oh, Mark Donick says he's got to go. See you later, Mark. Thanks for joining us. Oh, I love this. What do you think the great sacrifice will be? Oh, fire, water, one of the great.
Hanging upside down over a pit of vipers.
This is a great shock moment, though. I love this tentacle exploding out of this pipe. Now, that's what we want.
Oh, yes, this guy. Yeah.
Haag, Hark.
Oh, really?
Quite ironically, he goes arg in a minute. So
yeah. It's an anagram.
It goes out. Oh, Christ. But, I feel like the story could have done with a bit more of that, a bit more tentacles.
Yeah, so I think didn't they used to say there must have been some era of the show where they would just tell writers, no, you can't have a monster with tentacles. That is a thing, isn't it?
In concept.
Well,
John Pertwee wrestling the Nestine consciousness.
Yeah, you see, and that's probably why, because that and this, which are the 2 big tentacle stories of the 70s, are the tentacles don't really succeed, do they? Oh, Terry Walsh has come
question
in
here, which came to us from Mark Cochran, who couldn't be here.
Yeah.
And I'm going to throw this out to the chat as well, because I want everyone's opinion on this. Romana 1 and 2 was a fashion icon. What's your favorite Romana 1 look? Everybody. Let's start with you, Nathan.
So she said that she was actually responsible for some of them, like that Mary had some sort of input. I didn't initially, but now that I'm sort of reconciled to the, that sort of particular 70s style, I really like her in the Pirate Planet. And I kind of sort of like the first ridiculous outfit from Stones of Blood.
Oh no, do you know which one I love? That crazy camp costume she's got in Androids of Tara. Especially.
Oh yes. No, maybe that's it. That has to be it. Oh, you mean she doesn't wear the Tahiti outfit? There's that famous thing, I think, that it's the discontinuity guide that says when she says that's what everyone on Tara is wearing this year, no one on Tara is wearing that.
Oh, look, the answers are coming in now, and we've got 3 Androids of Tara votes.
Yeah, I think it has to be. The satin, the color, the piping, like the green piping is pretty great.
Gorgeous. Oh, Darren Randall says JNT told Andrew Cartmell no tentacles when Stephen.
Yes, there we go.
For a monster in Paradise Towers. Okay, I feel like the consensus here is Androids of Tara.
Yeah. Oh, look. Oh, he's doing his best to wrap himself around the dead rat And
I've got to say, right, in the commentary, have you heard it?
I haven't. I must have at the time, but I haven't heard it for a while.
Every time Kroll appears, or a tentacle comes out and grabs somebody, Tom Baker just goes, "Oh yes!" Like he's having the best orgasm of his life.
No, well, he's watching it in the spirit in which it's intended. That is pretty remarkable, isn't it? And it is like nameless shithead guy who's been killed. It's nameless guy in peril cliffhanger, which is pretty great.
A few more comments here about Romana costumes. Mark says, didn't Cilla Black's wardrobe lady make the Rebos operation outfit?
Oh, wow. Okay.
Love to see Cilla in that in Blind Date, coming down and doing
holy crap.
Daniel Rulsey says the tunics actually look pretty good in this story and not just on Mary Tam. Vic Kelly puts in a vote for the Rebos operation, and I think that's fabulous.
Yeah.
And Darren Luke Rowdle, sorry, says I'm a favorite Mary costume. I'm all about practical, and I think she looks
Okay. Yep. Yeah, maybe she doesn't have a dud. Poor old Romana too has that atrocity in Nightmare of Eden, which makes her look
Attorney. Do you know
5 months
what?
pregnant.
When I did the commentary with Sai on that, he pointed out that every time she's got her hands behind her back, it looks like her arms have been lopped off. All you can see is,
The empty sleeves.
and then once you
It's
see it, that's all you can see every time she's on the screen.
yeah. So let's say that Mary doesn't have a dud, and obviously Lala does, but maybe just that one actually.
I mean, think of some of them: the sailor's outfit, the
Yeah.
schoolgirl outfit, the red in Warrior's Gate. Gorgeous.
Yeah.
Okay, well, look, we're gonna head into episode 3 now, folks. If you're ready, God, I'm having fun. You having fun? I'm having fun.
I'm having fun. Although episode 4 started immediately after, I don't know what this app is doing.
You're having
And
the
I'm
Colin Neal
20 minutes in. I'm probably up to the point that Colin is up to actually in episode 4. Let me just try and get episode 3 happening.
Dave Rennie wants to. Oh, he says that Romana outfit in Meglos. What is she wearing, Meglos?
Oh, it's nice. It's really nice. It's don't you remember? It's
It red.
yeah. But it's sort of fussy and stuff, and it has puffy sleeves and things. It's really nice. I like it a lot.
Okay, everybody. Well, whilst we're waiting for Nathan and his technical difficulties,
No, I'm good.
let's put
I'm
out a
sorted.
vote for Lala Ward's best costume and just bring them in.
Oh, schoolgirl outfit in
Mikey and
City
Janie
of Death.
says they dress Romana like Yoko Ono in that show. Colin's on episode 7 now. And
Good, okay.
Fauntleroy. They're a witty bunch, this lot, aren't they?
They are.
Okay, well, are you ready for 3?
It's my turn. Can I count us in?
I mean, we're in episode 3. This is where the troubles usually start, isn't it? In the Doctor.
Yeah. Let's see if they're locked up for the entirety of the episode. All right, here goes. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and we're off. Oh, Andy Parkinson's putting in a vote for the Horns of Nymon costume, which is Lala at her poshest, looking absolutely superb.
Usually going that sort of thing, but you know what? I'd have her in that story. She looks great.
Wonderful.
Obviously, she'd be the one dominating. Have you seen her?
Yeah. Well, she's the doctor in that story. She's wonderful. She's our first female doctor. She's great.
Mikey and Janie clearly has a thing for the schoolgirl outfit because he's voted for City of Death.
Yeah. That is great, that outfit.
Joe Short says Kroll 2 Electric Boogaloo. What does that mean?
Boogaloo.
What's a Boogaloo?
What was the film? What was the first one? It's the sequel to something. James does that gag all the time. There's something to Electric Boogaloo. Warriors of Gate.
Oh, Daniel Knight's just turned up. Hello, Daniel. He just caught the chat about costumes.
Yeah.
Between Mary Tam and Lala Ward is that Lala can pull off the school uniform.
Yeah, Mary's a little bit more kind of reserved, I think, because she's more reserved and because Lala is more sort of joyful and relaxed and stuff. She can do more costumey things. I mean, her first outfit, that pink version of Tom's outfit in Destiny of the Daleks, is pretty damn great as well.
Yeah. That's another great story with great location work, Destiny of the Daleks.
Yeah. Well, Sai was just posting. I don't want to spoil Sai's OPSEC or anything, but he's been there. He was posting photos of that location from Destiny of the Daleks today, I think.
Well, and I must say, he took a fabulous pair of bombs with him as well. And Colin was his glamorous assistant. Oh,
look at this. So great. Like, there's literally no special effect at all. They've just said, love, I just need you to kind of like twirl around. Then we'll cut away and then you can be lying in the thing. It's like
little dry ice they pump into this scene. And John Leeson's going as if
Hug's just been sucked off by the monster.
Whisper smoke. It's so funny. Oh dear. Oh, there's a massive Lala Ward loving going on in the thread here,
Yeah, well, she's so superb, isn't she? So wonderful.
Colin says he's a reminder of their day trips. I bet he is.
He was wearing the pink jacket.
I think it's quite sad watching John Leeson trying to act, on the screen. And do you know what? I love John Leeson. Jeez, I met him in a couple of conventions. I bought him a drink once and he said thank you in the K9 voice. He's a very, very charming man, but I don't know if this is his best acting performance.
No, I think he's best in Gambit in Blake 7.
Yes.
This is so incredibly memorable. There was a point when we were doing Flight Through Entirety where I was pretty sick of people being strapped to things and sacrificed to the gods. Like, I just sort of thought, like, and then, like, finally it gets so ridiculous that even Jackie Hill's coming on the show and doing it to people. It's just like, can we just not do that anymore? And I think we pretty much stop at that point. I can't think, can you think of it happening after Meglos?
No, but then they stopped having fun after Meglos, remember?
Yeah, that's true. That's true. Yeah. But the 7th ritual, just her reaction to all of this, and the fact that when she, I've gone out of focus, that when she gets untied, the first thing that she goes, I had an itchy nose, like, now it's stopped. Like, that's so funny. That's so
preposterous of this, the way he gets out of there by taking his voice.
The voice, yeah. Like, the two of them are so great. The two of them are so terrific. So he's talking about the window that he's going to break with his voice, and talking about the architecture and annoying her, which is also part of why he's doing it. It's so terrific.
Daniel Rawnsley says here, what a horrible way to go. Working on a methane refinery and then getting sucked up a great pipe by a giant tentacle. If I'm honest, I mean, that would be quite a memorable way to go. I'm probably going to die in my sleep, but that would be my preference. Joe Shaw says, trying to get an insurance company.
Tom being so excited. You'll be able to die happy.
But he's not sending it up completely, is he?
Well, no, but he's doing his normal thing, like he's doing his normal thing because he's talking about the window, not just to be hilarious, because he's coming up with a plan. He's got a thing.
Oh, I mean, Abernary here, he's playing all this so straight, his arm out, talking about the 7th ritual. Yeah. Kroll came to, and then even Dudley Simpson gets into it with this sort of little wistful religious tune that he's playing. But I think you've got to play that straight, haven't you? Abernary's role. You have really serious.
But remember when Jackie Hill comes along in Meglos and plays essentially the same role.
It's descended from the heaven.
But she also injects it with really considerable humanity and stuff. I think she does a great job of what is essentially the same shitty character that Abernary's playing here. And this too, Tom just saying, come on, you're full of shit.
The chest on that Swampy.
Yeah, it's bad. His hair's bad though, isn't it? So do you think they shaved as well?
No, you do see a bit of hairy chest as well. All the legs.
Okay.
I bet the whoever was doing that job for the BBC was having a great week.
Yeah, well, didn't they retire to the army barracks after the location shoot and scrub the green paint off one another?
I volunteered for the BBC that week. Oh, Mikey says, imagine having a pint with Tom in a London pub around this time. Oh, that would be heaven. I bet
it would be, except he was a massive prick, wasn't he? Really?
Goes to see what I was hanging out with all the lowlifes in the smoky London sort of awful pubs. I mean, I wouldn't want to be there.
Yeah. Paul Seed's dog bites him on the face. And that he'd been told not to taunt the dog, but of course he did because he's Tom.
Joe Shaw asked, did they nick the glass breaking idea from the Ella Fitzgerald cassette adverts on TV in the 70s, where she broke a glass singing live and then on the recording?
I don't remember those.
It's the way they treat his voice, where he goes, oh. It's so funny.
No, what about the narrow little eyes thing? Like he was trying to hypnotize the guy.
There is what's great about this Doctor. He's being ridiculous, he's being silly, he's trying to get them out of it at the same time.
Yeah, yeah.
That's what I love about Tom in those 3 seasons. He's absolutely the cleverest person in the room, but he appears like he's the stupidest.
Yeah, yeah.
Well, that's the line, it's at your death, isn't it?
Yeah, yeah, yeah. No one's as stupid as he seems. Well, I mean, this is a brilliant version of the Doctor, isn't it? But I do like his previous version. Like, I do like the, in fact, say he does a Hinchcliffe version, a Williams version, and a Nathan Turner version. I think they're all pretty great. Like
Ooh.
the Hinchcliffe one is really great when he's being kind of terrifying. I think he's really good.
Well, I think that sort of haunted Tom Baker in 18. And
Yeah.
sort of blazing anger in Full Circle when he goes at the deciders and things like that.
Yeah.
I'll
Yeah.
take, I mean, he's just a bloody good actor, isn't he? People kind of don't rate him much as an actor, but that's 3 interpretations of the same role.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Yeah, that's right. That's right. He doesn't just wander into the studio and be Tom, although perhaps this version of the Doctor is the most Tom-like version of the Doctor.
And you can tell absolutely when he is bored and just go, well, I'm going to have a bit of fun here. Yeah.
So if Dugeen has spotted 30 tentacles on this side alone, how come the model doesn't look anything like it has 30 tentacles on one side? It's got like 6 tentacles in total.
It's because there wasn't a tone meeting and nobody told them.
No, I never. Yeah, that's right.
They were like, we just need a giant squid with 2 enormous tentacles. Go. They must have got these scripts, and started flicking through, going, what the fuck? How are we going to do this?
Yeah.
We haven't got the budget of Star Wars.
No. So, but this doesn't. Yeah. I mean, look at this scene. These scenes are so boring. They're all the same. And like, they're just describing the situation. Like, there's no interpersonal thing happening. Do you know what I mean? Like, it's not, like, imagine if Fenner had the shits because he was going to be the commander of the base and that he thinks Thorne is much worse at it than him and is trying to undermine. Like, there's nothing going on between the characters. And you think about
it needs, don't you? It needs Rusty Davis. He would make the play between these 3 so interesting.
But what about Horror of Fang Rock? Do you know what I mean? Which is another base under siege, and there is a whole plot between, Skinsale and Palmerdale and their relationship with Adelaide and all of that. Oh, look at this lamentable model.
I believe that might be stock footage of lightning as well.
Oh, yeah. Oh, just about. No, I think it's actually stock footage of clouds that they've inexpertly painted lightning onto.
Oh, thank God we'll come back to this, but poor Mary Tam, she's really trying to look in pain. But you can actually see that her arms aren't straining at all.
No. And she's shorter than the other 2. She should be pulled apart first, I think.
I just wanted to say, and just popped in very quickly to say hello. This is one of his all-time favorite stories, and he chose it for Toby Haydock's.
Oh, wonderful! Happy Times for Places.
Yeah. But he's at Hooverville at the moment, and he's off to see Paul McGann. I can understand why that's your preference. Don't worry. Anthony Carroll doesn't really care for any of the base crew, and I agree with him.
Yeah. And you can do it if you can be bothered. I think this is Holmes, because Holmes does that stuff too, and he does that quite expertly, I think, but he's clearly phoning it in. It's that Sandifer line about how Bob Holmes could write Doctor Who in his sleep, and we know that because he sometimes did do that, and he's clearly doing it here.
The Mysterious Planet, you mean? I think he might have knocked that off in his sleep, but it's still good.
Yeah, well, it's like a pastiche of stuff that he's just done before, isn't it? But yes, there's good stuff in it for sure.
I'd like to regale you with another question from Fraser, who's not here, but you'd think he was. Monster is less than successful, who should carry the can? The writer for dreaming it up, the script editor for not realizing it wouldn't work, the producer for signing it off, or the VFX department for actually making the thing? Man, he does good questions.
I think that the production has to be blamed, and I think that eventually, do you know what I mean? I don't think the script. I think Holmes hates monsters, doesn't he? So
Can't blame him
this story,
when he was
yeah,
told, write the biggest monster.
yeah. But remember, what monster did he have in his previous story this season?
What's
The
that?
Shriven Zal, which is just there to get the cliffhanger in episode 1. And then it's dead. They find it dead, don't they? And, like,
The Sunmakers, he does without a monster at all. He's like, no, we'll
yeah,
just great
yeah.
villain.
When he remakes this, we get the magma creature to supply us with the cliffhanger to episode 3, and it's shit, and it's just as shit as he knew it would be, and I think even Graham Harper kind of fails to make it good, although there's some good shot composition in that final shot.
The one story where I think he really revolves it all around a monster is Ark in Space, and that's so conceptually horrific that
Well, most of the time the monster's a dead body. Like for the first couple of episodes, we just get the dead body, and then we get the thing, and like it's just a big puppet. I think it works really well, but it's
we love
the
a puppet, you
performance
and
of the
me.
actor. Yeah.
Puppets in
More
Doctor
more
Who,
puppets.
please. Oh, here you go. Here
I'm
comes.
pouring water into the studio as well, which I always like. That makes it feel a little bit more real.
Did you see a second ago where they were trying to make it look as if there was a rainstorm occurring inside the refinery just by shining a blue light every other second? Bless Norman Stewart. Someone did ask in episode 1, I can't remember who it was, and I didn't get to ask you, which is the better directed story, Power of Kroll or Underworld?
Which is the better?
Directed story, Power of Kroll or Underworld? Because Norman
Oh,
Stewart,
did he do Underworld?
yeah. I feel like Underworld is a tough one to really
Then
judge.
they asked him back.
Yeah.
Well,
I mean, he was given no sets,
no. So, and the early episodes, I remember seeing Underworld Part 1 for the first time. I just think it was fucking incredible, and it doesn't have any of those sets, it just has the people on the P7E, and it's so good. Like that first episode is really something, I think. Massively
And
underrated.
unfortunately, then everyone's running around that green studio, not having a clue
just
where they are.
endless shots of that fucking security camera.
But I think the best direction he does is his location work in this story.
Yeah.
And visually interesting as well. So he can do it on location.
But can you imagine coming back after doing a production and then being told at some point, actually, we're not doing the location shoot. You're just going to have locked off cameras in front of a green screen.
Bless him. Andy Parkinson says, I like Underworld. I know a few people that do, Andrew. Don't worry.
Yeah. I think the beginning of it's really good, but I do think that it just sort of, again, turns into people wandering around just painfully unrealistic corridors.
I completely forgot, and I had 3 questions, so I'm going to throw another one at you now.
Okay.
Ben Salia asks, along with this question, do you think part 2 cliffhanger, which Harg is dragged screaming to his doom, is one of the great unsung episode endings? Yes.
Well,
we laughed.
Yeah, but that's it. It should be. I think just Holmes knows that it's going to be ridiculous and just goes, fuck it, because in a sense, it's like, oh my God, we're not even safe here in the refinery or whatever. Do you know what I mean? Kroll can get in here. It's like this new scary thing, but the whole thing, no one really cares very much about it. So it doesn't really matter very much. And so what's kind of awesome about it is how trivial it is. It's that insane thing where we've got a complete rubber tentacle with no moving parts at all, whose victim is forced to strangle himself with it, before lying down in the pipe.
Well, can I just say, I think the next sort of 5 minutes of the Power of Kroll are sublime. You've got Tom, Mary, and Glyn, whatever his name is, as Rom Duck,
Yeah.
attempting to get across it. Then they get in a boat, and then the cliffhanger, may I say, where the boat heads towards the mouth of Kroll. Now, that's one of the great unsung cliffhangers.
Yeah, yeah. That
I
is
believe
pretty
it's
good.
behind you right now, actually.
Yes, yes, it is.
But like, okay, but to put it in terms of numbers, episode 1 of Power of Kroll got 6 million. Episode 2 of Power of Kroll got 12 million viewers. Now I know
Was there a strike?
the first episode was affected, but and then 3 and 4 got sort of 8 or 9 million. So they didn't all go away after that.
Yeah, yeah.
So it scored well.
Yeah,
If the
I
kids
like
know there's an
this.
enormous tentacling monster in Doctor Who, they're going to watch it.
That's awesome. Yeah, absolutely.
Okay, Daniel Knight asks here, what filling do you like in your bagel?
I am gonna look up bagel.
Oh, there's an argument here for Darren says Underworld Part 1 is superb, but Bob and
Yeah.
Dave give up on their own script after that. Yeah, I don't disagree.
Yeah, yeah. They're really inconsistent, aren't they? I remember there's a moment in Flight Through Entirety where someone just sits down and enumerates to me like all of the episodes that they've written in order, you know, starting with Claws of Axos. And suddenly I realize, wow, actually, they're really shit, aren't they? Like, they're just not very good.
Oh, look at this. Miles just said, good job the Swampies weren't in Underworld with all the...
Yes.
Where are the
You wouldn't have
indigenous
seen them at
people?
all.
I can't see them. Oh, and everyone seems to think the Underworld book is fabulous, including Sai. The
Oh,
target
wow. Okay.
expectations for that story so high that I could never it could never live up to it, and it certainly did not. Says Yesterday. Yesterday, who are you? I want to know who you are. Oh, and you know what? Nobody enjoys these cliffhangers more than Tom Baker. This bit in a minute, he's going, "Oh, Mary, I'd do anything for you. I'll save you." And then Kroll appears, and he just goes, "Oh, yes."
Tom, that's so great. Well, I told him not to move. That's so good.
But, you know, that was a Colin line. I think people would have issue with that.
Yeah. But this is a sort of well-written line, and it's underplayed, which I think probably helps.
Fair enough. I love all of this, you know, in the reads.
Yeah. We're doing a fun thing. It's not quite as good as, but it just reminds me a little bit of, you know, we're going to be with the Navy this week in that wretched Sea Devil story.
As you coined on FTE, so much of Williams' era I see as space corridors, that when we're out in the open like this, it always surprises me when, you know, and that's what 16 is, isn't it? There's a lot of...
That's great.
Look
at that. Like, the special effect doesn't work, but but absolutely, that's a really great shot. Oh, here we go. Whoa. You really have to drown yourself, don't you? Like, Kroll's not putting any effort in at all.
Stop it, it's real, all right. Oh, look at that, the boat going towards the...
Yeah, that's really good.
It should have been this episode that got 12 million. What a cliffhanger.
Yeah.
If you are going to write the story of the biggest Doctor Who monster ever, you've got to have a cliffhanger where they're heading towards the...
Yes. Of course you do. And you have to sell its farts to the nearby planet.
I bet they taste absolutely gross. Okay, well, I'm going to throw another question at you here.
Okay.
Meltham Rob says, whilst Crow was sleeping away without knowing it, he was helping to feed the population of Delta Magna. Well done, Kroll. I wonder what they would think if they knew their food supposedly came from Kroll's farts. Well, that's what you just said there, wasn't it? Sai says, I think the Kroll model is really good. Shame.
Oh, yeah.
The way they block off the shot doesn't really work. Yeah, it is.
But look at the sky behind the Kroll model is pretty great as well, don't you think?
I think all they
Like,
need to do, if this was on the Blu-ray and they were going to enhance the effect, is just that line. Just make
yeah,
the
yeah.
reeds come up so it looks like one shot, because it does look like one shot apart from the line.
Well, I think that shot with Tom and Mary in the boat and the swampies, like, you know, and they're not at the same distance. Do you know what I mean? Like, and then you've got Kroll in between them. Like, that was a well composed special effects shot, I thought.
In a period of the show that is not complimented very often for
No,
effect.
yeah, like you know, I don't know, that effect shot, like, is it supposed to make us think there's a real monster? It never does that. But Doctor Who never
Go
really
down
does that
there
even
again.
now. Do you know what I mean? Like, when they have good special effects now, it's hard to sell, and it's not what we want anyway. We know it's a monster story. It's a fun thing.
It really is. Well, look, we should probably head into
All
it.
right, what do you think?
I just love the fact that this is called The Power of Kroll, starring Nathan Bottomley. You're shining moment to appear in this story. Okay, well, look, would you
Oh my god.
in for the last one?
Will you do it, or I didn't hear that? Sorry.
Well, I said, would you?
I'll do it.
In?
Okay, I may do this every week, but I'll do it. All right. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and we're off.
I'm going to ask everybody that's joining us, would you please let us know in a paragraph what your opinion of The Power of Kroll is as a whole, and I'll read the lot out at the end of the episode. We want to hear.
Oh, excellent. Good call.
Here we go. Oh, this, honestly, that's still one of my favorite titles.
I like the Pertwee version.
What, where he heads down the time tunnel himself?
Yeah.
It's great.
Particularly the opening bit, you know, with the sort of shards of whatever, like, it looks really cool. There goes
Did you
Rome
see
again.
that? The way those reeds fell away. That was hilarious. Oh, we've got another question from Fraser. You ready for this? Sorry, Todd Bilby in advance. Snog, marry, get mauled by a tentacle erupting from your pipe. Ranquin,
Toilet pipe.
even. Ranquin, Ashton from the Blake 7 episode Hostage, or Rimmer's dad. They're all John Abernary, just for anybody
Yeah.
listening.
Or Ranquin, because he's already not. So Snog Ranquin, because he's not wearing very much. So there's a lot less sort of preliminary things to get through. Oh, why couldn't I have General Carrington?
Well, you can go on and throw him. Marry,
I'd avoid him. He's a fascist asshole.
What problems?
And so who do I get to marry?
Hostage or Rimmer's dad.
Yeah, Rimmer's dad's a bit tragic, isn't he? And he's a bit pathetic looking.
I'm starting to think Abernary, you know, they're like, they gave him all the thankless roles.
Yeah. Who's Herne the Hunter? Oh, is that in what was that Robin Hood show? Robin of Sherwood?
Oh,
Was
yeah.
he in that?
Yeah. Oh, man.
Jason. Anthony Carroll said it. I don't know. He might come back and tell us.
I thought Jason Connery was hot with his shirt open in Vengeance of Varos. Go and watch Robin of Sherwood.
Well, he's Robert of Sherwood after Robin of Sherwood quits the show, I think. Is that right? I think that's what happened.
About the real world affecting the television show.
Yeah, I love that stuff.
Now, I've got to say about part 4, I do think the pace picks up in this part, and that he does out the story because you've got the rocket that's going to go off that they've got to stop.
Yeah.
Got the Swampies attacking the refinery. Kroll attacks the refinery. The Doctor has to try to get the key back. Like, and it's one thing after. Oh, look at these tentacles.
This is great. This is one of my favorite shots. It's so shit. It's so unbelievably great. So we've got the line again, but then you've got the practical, real tentacles coming through the thing. Then you've got Wow, that is so
I'm not
good.
saying anything that limp. No, in fact, I won't end that sentence.
No.
Oh, bless them.
I
It makes those tentacles in Spirit from Space look astonishing.
Yeah, yeah, that's a really bad shot, isn't it?
Oh, there's a
Whoops.
hilarious bit in a minute where John Leeson has to reveal his allegiance to the sons of Earth. He goes, "All life began on Mother Earth." He
Oh
can't
my
quite pull it,
God.
but it's quite funny. But
There's
unfortunately,
always a Sons of Earth in a home script. Oh no, is he just so or Hulk as well? Do you remember the Peace Party? It's like that, isn't it?
it's that sort of performance we just don't get in Doctor Who anymore, is it? Because everyone's
No,
realistic these days.
everyone's good. Yeah.
We need a bit more John Leeson. Oh, good grief. You know what? I'm going to lose some of these opinions on the power of Kroll, so I'm going to read them out now. You ready?
I think you can scroll back.
Oh, can you? Oh,
Go on, do it. Yeah.
I'm listening, you know. Mikey says, I think the power of Kroll is definitely the worst key to time. Stones is the best, but it's vintage Tom from an era where bad is good and there's great chemistry from the leads. Fair.
Yeah, that's fair.
Sai
I'll
says,
read David. Oh,
no, go on. Off you go.
let me read David Rennie's one. The story is better and much funnier than its reputation. Great location work, and I rather like how Thorne is just a nasty bastard. Yeah, I think I said that before. He's just a prick, like, yeah, yeah. I mean,
I'll,
it would have been fun to watch anyway. Philip
I'll
Maddox.
do
Yeah.
size then. I think Kroll is rather better than its reputation. The excellent location work elevates it, and I always enjoy it more than I think I will. Good, solid 7 out of 10 for me. Oh, you read out Colin Neal's. Go on.
Just a sec. I think he scrolled off my page.
Underneath Anthony Carroll.
Kroll has Mary Tam. It is therefore 10 out of 10. I think that is a pretty good metric, a pretty good critical metric, I'd have to
I don't think
say.
any of us can disagree with that one, you know.
Yeah, see that is not working at all. That split
Well, the
screen is.
worst Kroll, I think, is when he's attacking the refinery.
Yeah.
It's a dreadful prop attacking another dreadful
It is.
prop.
That's it. Battle of the fucking props.
Darren says the Power of Kroll, a perfect wet afternoon story, undemanding, simple fun, and the episodes are so short it doesn't outstay its welcome. This is
okay.
a positive swing
That's
for the
fair.
Power of Kroll here. Oh, I
So
love where he goes to her. We better say goodbye now. She goes, "Oh, goodbye, Doctor." He goes, "Goodbye," and then he just goes off. There's no long sequence.
No.
Things coming in. And there's a spectacularly undramatic shot from above, looking down at Mary Tam, going, "Doctor." It's
What's up?
oh dear, oh dear.
Oh no! Look at that.
Can
They're
you
just
read
lighting the
Andy Parker
dry ice red.
review? He's just
Oh,
popped up now.
okay. Do you want me to do it?
Yeah, go on.
I believe the characters of the refinery. John Aberneri shines as Rankin. Tom is great, and they all help elevate an average story to a great one. Yep, I think that's pretty fair too.
Oh, look, there's that wobbly wall. Look, there's that shot of Ramona. It's terrible.
Oh yeah, no
It's
that.
there. It looks really bad.
Yeah.
Oh,
Oh, there you go. There's that countdown timer. Oh, look, it's like inexpertly, like we've just kind of used a hacksaw or something, like drilled a hole and then hacksawed out something out of some flooring. So bad. It's just not bothering at all.
Well, listen to this from Joe Shaw. I feel really sorry for Kroll. There she is, just farting away happily, and then they get worshipped and exploited. Hashtag justice for Kroll.
Yeah, and then they kill him. He wasn't doing anything. He just ate the occasional priest, and they should be grateful for that, I would think.
Is it that he just swallowed the key to time? That's why he's huge, isn't it?
Yeah. That's why Lala Ward's so huge.
He's just hungry, and honestly, as a character I can relate to.
Yeah, for sure.
And you know, fart a lot as well, so I can definitely relate to it.
Anthony Carroll asked, why doesn't Kroll just poo out the key to time?
That's a very good question.
Yeah. Well, it turns out that Perspex is really, really easily digestible. Not many people know this. And so you just basically absorb it all into your body rather than pooing it out.
Oh, yesterday's just said this is fun. I hope you do more of these lives. I think we definitely will. This is great.
Yeah.
Andy Parkinson says there's nothing worse than an inelegant hole. I agree, Andy. Get douching, all right? Also, Dave Brady says the refinery needs to tighten their screws.
Oh my God. It's turned into a hamster with a blunt penknife episode for sure.
Joe Short, imagine Mary Whitehouse's reaction to a giant poo. Oh no. It would automatically put 3 million viewers on the audience.
Isn't Philip Maddock wonderful in this scene? Like, because he's so incredibly unlikable, and because we saw him being racist earlier, do you know what I mean? And then having him Tom sitting up, then having him say that, it was wrong to kill poor old Dugeen.
I think for crimes for bad acting, he should have just gone fair play. Oh, this is great where Tom goes, we need to get out of here before they catch us. Oh, hello. What are you doing? I was just shutting the door because, it's oh, look, Daniel Rolsey's given us an alternative ending. Given the methane setting and methane being a flammable gas, fighter from another era might have just had Kroll get blown up for the climax, exploded by your own farts.
Yeah, that could happen.
I mean,
that could happen.
I can't think of another Doctor Who story that had an explosion at the climax,
No, but they probably would have done it if it hadn't been for the key to time thing. I mean, I think Holmes's idea. So what? It's Jethrick in the first one. It's a piece of Jethrick, and here it's Kroll, essentially. Like that's a good instinct. If you can have the big giant monster, make him the segment of the key to time. And I doubt that anyone was really caring about this, but if the sixth segment's going to be a person, it's not a bad idea to have had an animal be a segment before that.
Of all of them, which one do you think is the most sort of creative, like the one that works best within the story?
Oh, Calufrax.
Oh, yes, yeah.
Don't you think? Like that's brilliant. Like,
well, I do really like it being the princess in the sixth one.
Yeah, because it creates a moral dilemma, which is sort of interesting. Like I like that a lot. And it doesn't go anywhere, of course, but it's a pretty good idea. And then it's two bits of jewelry and and a gem. Do you know what I mean? Like, so they're super boring.
But I do love David Fisher basically going, oh, right, this fucking key to time stuff. So she just finds that statue at the beginning.
The statue. It's a statue, isn't it? Yeah.
Right, now it's time to have fun. Let's go.
Well, and the thing that it's around Vivian Faye's neck. Like there's another person again who is like being painted, to appear in this show. That someone's having to scrub down Vivian Faye's décolletage after the shooting's over.
Maybe it's
perhaps it's saving you from pudding. Excellent. I'm glad that the Swampies got to kill Thorn, whatever.
That
no.
You don't see it.
Yeah. Look at this. Look at this. Look at this. Do you think they've slowed?
Believe it's happening before my eye.
Just the look on Kroll's face as he sidles up to it.
A bit embarrassing story, didn't
he? He's giving it the side eye.
I've been watching the Marvel movies recently, and I watched one this week, and I'll tell you now, there's no perceptible difference between that and the climax of this story.
Yeah, it's just flung an arm over it.
We've all been there. You've had a bad night, you end up tentacle lolloping all over the place.
Yeah, so Rankin really believes it, doesn't he? Like yeah.
But then Habanero gets this scene in a minute where he has to sort of venerate this limp tentacle that's coming out.
Yes, that is pretty awesome. So he's in the room where Harg got dragged off, got sucked off. Oh, here we go.
Oh, the tentacle through the window.
Yeah, that was so perfunctory, wasn't it? It was dreadful.
Vanishing. I keep thinking that Kroll's eating you.
Yeah, that's right.
Oh, Dave Rennie's asked us, did Thorne not deserve a bigger moment at his death? Well, no.
It's yeah. Well, no. I think that because he's not a speech, he's not a monologuing villain. Do you know what I mean? He's just a prick, and I just like that the people he's been racist against just come in and kill him straight away. That's kind of awesome.
He deserves an undramatic death. He's such
yeah. Screw that guy.
I do like the blood though. That's
We wouldn't do that now.
Yeah. I love that tentacle coming through the window a minute ago as well.
Yeah.
These tentacles, unsurprisingly.
Yeah, so Rankin is really a religious maniac. And so there was that sort of thing where we were thinking he was doing it for political reasons or whatever. And the Doctor kind of suspects that too, doesn't he? He sort of says that it's but he is really a nutcase, like he's a proper maniac.
Well, I do think he's played it at levels. Like it could be very one note, and I think he's successfully added a bit of nuance to what could have been a pretty bland character.
You see, with the Savants and the Dions in Maglos and Jackie Hill, right? You've got Jackie who does believe in a religion, which does lead her to do bad things, but she still is human and comprehensible in some way. Jesus Christ, that's so pathetic, isn't it? Flopping. Yes, that's
right. Master, it is thy servant. Look at him. They're trying to drag
they've slipped at some Viagra, and now it's grabbed him.
We don't live for this stuff, though.
Oh no. So see, what's this? So this is again in the studio. No, but that looks like sunlight.
No, that's outside. That's definitely outside. They had a little platform built. Someone put it earlier in the chat. So
okay.
But I do like all of this where the tentacle comes in and slaps the tracer away. Like there's a bit of dynamism to some of this.
Yeah.
A little bit.
It takes the tracer, doesn't it? Like that was it, sort of dragging the tracer away.
No, look, the tentacle coming behind him. Oh, thank God I got away. Oh my God. And watch, they've clearly done it.
See, when it's Tom, they at least do him the honor of showing the film backwards. Like they wrap it around him so that it actually.
Come on, get the tracer.
Oh my God. It's just like the fight over the gun, isn't it? Like how many times have we seen this?
Oh dear. And then no, wait, it's the way. What works is the way it just comes up with the key to time on the tracer and goes, oh, look.
That's great. And I think too that he has realized that Kroll, like we haven't realized it, have we at this point? We have no idea. Like we're kind of going, that's not a gun. What's he doing? And the fact that, oh, Jesus Christ.
No, it was better when the creature was on top of it, that refinery prop.
Yeah. It wasn't. It was terrible. Again.
That's what he drew on the cover of the Target novel. It's a lovely shot of Tom Baker,
like him smiling with the thing on the end.
No, I think it's just the face,
just that smile. You killed Kroll.
Oh, look, Spike says, Tom Baker says on the Tom Baker years, I made rather a meal of that when he was. Yeah, now this is weird because it's the time lash effect, isn't it? You get the second Jeopardy.
A second ending.
We've had 4 lots of Jeopardy already. We don't need the countdown now.
No. And yeah, we don't. And so this is going to blow us up. Also, we've prevented a shot that's going to go into and kill the Swampies and stuff, and Kroll, where Kroll's farts are being weaponized against him and the Swampies. But I think that this is really shit, and Holmes writes it in a way that he knows it's really shit. And I actually think that this is not very good. Like, in a way, you sort of think, oh yes, it's all very meta and stuff. But you know, the alternative to being meta about the shit ending that you've written is writing a good ending. Do you know what I mean? And I know Holmes is the man who brought us flick the destroy Sutek switch at the end of those 4 episodes and then he'll die. Like, you know, like this is like, I don't think this is all that funny. And I don't.
Brought us the spectacular death of the Graf in Decay at the end of the Rebos operation, you know.
Yeah.
I was screaming with laughter watching that.
That was brilliant. So good.
Yeah, even Tom Baker looks a bit like, oh, is that the ending?
Yeah, no. I mean, he's acting it like it isn't, he's not throwing it away. He's not just clowning, like he's doing a proper job of it. But it is that line, I do just hope these are the right ones. And you kind of think, oh, okay.
I mean, it is a bit meta because she's going, you could have been killed. And he's just there going, yeah. Like, you know. Oh, I do like this as well. Holmes does this a lot, you know, when the Doctor just pops off. He's changed the situation. You got Fenner here with the Swampies, and they're sort of enemies. He goes, right.
Look at them turning and looking at him too. Like they're really cross with him. Like, that was pretty great. Like, he leaves him with the Swampies, and now
you're like, well, what happened next?
Yeah, so that's not in the script necessarily, but I think it is pretty great that they're angry at him, and he has been a massive racist. He did say that they were savages and stuff.
Now we've got Tom and Mary wandering around in the swamp. What more do you need in your life?
Yeah, and this too, which is exposition, which comes after.
We learn he swallowed the key to time, isn't it?
Yeah, no, well, yeah, but we knew that he swallowed the symbol of power. Oh, look.
Thank you for joining us, Vic Kelly. Wow. Come back next time for Time and the Rani. I promise you it'll be even more of a riot. Look at the TARDIS in the reeds.
I know. In fact, when it appears in there, we just see the top of it appear. And K9, because when you come home, the dog jumps up on you and kind of, so when they walk in the door, K9's all over them. He has to tell him to get back. Very cute. Yeah. There you go.
Well, I say, you know what we're in for now then, don't you, when we end this story?
Well, I'm thinking it's just 10:46 p.m. here. What do you say we just keep going and do 6 parts of the Armageddon Factor? These people...
I'll be like Mary Cam in the commentary. I'll just go, oh, I'm so bored. I quite like the Armageddon Factor. What I actually have to do is, for the podcast, find 3 reasons to recommend Power of Kroll each, and we'll start with you.
I think you should watch Power of Kroll because I think you should watch The Key to Time, because I think that on some metrics, it's the best Williams season. I mean, I think 17 is the best Williams season for other reasons in other ways, but I think it's a really, really strong, enjoyable, fun season of Doctor Who, and so you should watch it because you should be watching all of the season.
I am going to say Norman Stewart's location direction, because I don't think anyone's got a kind word to say about Norman Stewart amongst Doctor Who on the whole. And when I was watching this yesterday with the Tom Baker, John Leeson commentary on, I was really struck by that location work and how dramatic it could be at times, how vivid it was, how memorable it was. And so I think when he's not having to create the setting to film,
that's it. When God has created the setting for him, he does a great job.
Norman Stewart's location work, because I think that's the best work he did on Doctor Who.
Yeah, okay. I think that you should watch this for the same reason Colin does, which is that Mary Tam is fantastic, and we only had her for a year, and she was absolutely marvelous. And her and Tom are properly great together.
She's beautiful, isn't she?
Yeah, she
Even
is
though I
beautiful.
wouldn't say no. I am going to say the wit that is inherent in Robert Holmes's script, and it's always in his scripts. But this, I think, sort of plotting wise, this is a bit dreary,
Yeah,
but the dialogue sparkles throughout. And I don't know, I don't think Tom Baker or Mary Tam are given their best performances of the season, but their not best is still really good.
yeah.
So I think it is very funny in places. It pokes fun at religion, it pokes fun at authority figures and the sort of the military and all of that. Yeah, Holmes could knock off a script in his sleep. I'm not saying he did that here. It isn't his best, but it's still very funny.
I think you should watch it because it has the biggest fart joke in Doctor Who history.
Knew you were going to say that one, Fuller. even bigger than Aliens of London.
Yeah. Well, like it, but it's not just the farts. It's like they're feeding farts to the population of Delta Magna. He's such a prick, Holmes. He's so funny.
Well, then the last thing I'm going to say is something I wouldn't often say about the Grand Williams era, and that is the special effect of Kroll rising from the depths. Because I do think that's shot extremely well. It's a great prop. And when it doesn't work, it's the fault of the director not shooting it in dynamic ways.
Yeah.
When it does work, you've got some really vivid imagery that 12 million people were happily watching on a Saturday night back in the mid-70s. Well, you can't do, you're not arguing with that point, so I'm assuming you agree.
No, I think that's right. There are some pretty terrible shots, aren't there? Some really shitty ones. Oh,
Andy Parkinson has thrown in his reasons as well. He's going to say John Abernary as the location work and the wit of the dialogue. Oh, we were
yeah. I think they're all good.
Probably Philip Maddock in there as well.
Yeah.
But that just leaves me to say thank you to you for your time today. I mean, I knew you'd be amazing. You always are, but thank you very much. And thank you to everyone that's jumped in today. Far more people than I thought I was going to see. So thank you so much. And your comments coming in and your questions. You're a lovely
bunch. That was really fun, guys. That was so much fun. Yeah. No,
just to
really
say,
terrific.
I mean, I'll consider it an oral contract here that you will be back for Time and the Rani.
Me?
Yes.
Them. They should come back.
No,
I will definitely come back. Oh, yeah. Oh, God, yes. Yeah, no. Yeah, I'll fight anyone for the right to do Time in the Rani.
We may end up sort of quoting every single line.
Oh, my God. I love it so much.
But no, thank you very much. And guys, I can see you're saying lovely, lovely things about today. So
yeah, thank you all.
We'll be back, baby.
Oh, we will, for sure.
Well, how'd you turn it off then?
I don't know. You've got the thing.
I'll figure it out. Don't you worry. Oh, there you go. Stop.